Good evening, everyone. I'm Pooja, along with my co-host Rachna Bhargav, ma'am. Welcome all our viewers on this very informative platform, Global Mastermind, a novel community which is trying to resource all those inquisitive minds who had lot many questions, and we are here to answer them with our dignitaries. Global Mastermind explored different successful personalities from all over the world and aid to enlighten the mindset of every other community. Then it may be belonging to professionalisms, parents, schools, universities, MNC employees, the list is long. So today we have eminent dignitaries with us from different corners of India who are going to quench the thirst specifically of parents, teachers, and of course, yes, our audience. We'll be discussing about environmental influences on child's development.
A very good morning, good evening to one and all. Well, Pooja ma'am, I think these environmental hazards which we are talking about, these are not just outside, these exist within the child as well. And I guess because they are children and they are in the developing stage, it has more impact on them as a child. So I think this is the topic which we come across as a parent, as a teacher, and as a friend as well. So
Certainly,
to
yes,
discuss
certainly, yes.
more, yes, ma'am.
Yes,
And so
Rachna.
to this,
Yeah, you're truly right. So, my dear audience, we have amongst us today's guest, Miss Kirti Sharma. First of all, I would like to introduce her before all of you. Miss Kirti Sharma, she is the principal of Jesus Sacred Heart School, Ludhiana. GSHS. This school has positioned second best school in Ludhiana by Times of India survey recently. She is certified in executive and performance leadership from Cornell University in New York. Kirti ma'am has been honored amongst top super 100 principals by Wednesday Times. And not only this, she has been recognized and awarded for her extraordinary contribution in education by Great Principal Forum. And award has also into her basket of being into amongst the Superwoman 2020 by Forever Asia Awards. Still, we are not ending here. She has also been accoladed for her innovations and research in education by EEC, supported by Ministry of Ayush. The recognition by APAC News Network as an educational leader and speaker is also in her feathers. We welcome you, Kirti ma'am. Thank you so much for being there.
Thank you, Pooja. Thank you
welcome,
so much.
madam.
It's really a privilege to be here on this platform, and I'm sure that we'll have a beautiful evening discussing various aspects of our children's upbringing. Thank you so much.
Welcome, ma'am. Amongst our guests, we also have with us Dr. Kalpana Dikshit. Welcome, ma'am. She is working as a research supervisor at Barkatullah University, Bhopal. She is NCRT certified counselor and NLP leadership coach as well. She has been working as an executive member in International Ambassador Global University. She has been awarded as India's top 50 emerging icon 2019. She has been awarded as International Outstanding Research Faculty Award by AIRST at Sri Lanka as well. She has been working as a global principal, and she has won the award for leadership and educational empowerment by CED and NIE 2021. She has also got Global Excellent Award by Life Foundation. The list is long. She has also been the Best Resource Person Award for Counseling and Guidance by SK and GIDO. Welcome, Kalpana ma'am. Please.
Thank you
Welcome.
for such a beautiful introduction. Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am. Thank you so much. We are really privileged to have the presence of such dignitary presence. So, my dear audience, before we proceed further, we would like to show you one video which is a little related to our today's theme. So let's just watch it and see where we are gonna to lead.
Dear Amma and Appa, you know I am very shy and it has taken a lot of courage to write this letter, so please listen to me.
exams in here, and I'm scared. But not from the exam pressure, but from the pressure from you.
I know I did not do well last time, but believe me, I'm working really hard this time.
You only talk about competition and marks. I feel like I don't have a life anymore.
I have a limited capacity, you know. I can't study continuously for 10 hours in one go.
Sometimes मैं आप दोनों से इतना डर जाती हूँ that I find myself in tears.
I feel very suffocated and I just want to get away from it all.
I don't understand why you don't let me meet my friends. I feel trapped.
I know you really care about my studies and get angry at me for not studying. But do you know, I really try hard.
I get tired after studying,
I want to watch football on TV.
but nee TV connection e cut panta.
Please don't come to check on me inside my room after every half an hour. It really bugs me and breaks my concentration.
You've become a stranger to me. I get a rumbling feeling in my tummy, like I'm going to faint.
Baba, even when you're with me, it's like आप मेरे साथ नहीं हो. आप अभी भी अपने ऑफिस के बारे में सोच रहे हो.
You look so stressed during my exams that it makes me nervous.
आप सबके सामने प्लीज मुझे निशी आंटी की बेटी के साथ कंपेयर मत करो.
Appa, why can't we be a normal house?
You always scream and scold me. I haven't slept for nights after getting yelled at by you.
Sometimes it's so frustrating that I feel like locking myself in the bathroom and not talking to anyone.
I know you two really love me and are really concerned about me.
But still, sometimes, just let me be.
Come घुटता है. I feel like please don't demotivate me. I get it from school and from my classes and then from you.
And I'm thankful and privileged to be your daughter. But please try to understand me. Thank you, man. Your little baby.
One day, I'll make both of you proud. Please help me. Love you, Ma. Love you, Pa.
Yours, Tina.
Dear Amma and
It was really so touching, and I really feel that kids, they are feeling one or the other kind of pressure, maybe in terms of exams, maybe through their parents or whatever we can say, but they have some kind of pressure which they feel. So and I think we can't teach children to behave better by making them feel worse. So, Kalpana ma'am, here I would like to ask you one thing, that why is it so that children feel more comfortable with their peers rather than anyone when they are to deal with such intense emotions, and more specifically if we talk about adolescence?
Yes, actually, adolescence is the period of stages of stress and storm. So, where uh, adolescents are very much comfortable with the peer group because there are many types of pressure, some positive pressure, some negative pressure, some spoken or unspoken, or some direct or indirect. Like you have already mentioned in the example, the examination pressure or parental pressure or community pressure or a pressure to show something very good in the society. So there are many types of pressure holding on the peer's mind. So they would like to share everything with someone who is very much comfortable and compatible with them. So many times it happens when they will go to share with the parents. So many times parents are either not supporting or not ready to listen such type of surprising thing from the kids to whom they understood a very little kids. So it's very difficult for them to share with the parents. Nowadays situations are changed. Now parents and adolescents are very much connected with each other. But I am talking about the past 10 years or 20 years back, when there are a taboo in the society. So adolescents are not very much familiar or very much free to their parents. At that time, the peer pressure very much influence them. So this is the reason why they feel comfortable with the peer group.
Very true. Though the times have changed, and that is why I guess they feel
Yeah.
more comfortable nowadays. Right. And what do you think, ma'am? Should parents assess the peer relationships of their children or not? And what is the correct approach for that?
Actually, I'm not advocating the testing or finding out some fact or myth about the child's development or her secrets like that. But I am just advocating that parents and adolescents must be very much connected with each other on the way that parents give them opportunity to express freely, and they should give them some hobby classes, some extracurricular activities, and they should also support them that we are always with you. So don't be worry and share your each and everything with us. This is the way the parents can give them many more opportunity to share and communicate in a free environment. Beyond this, parents can also encourage the child to meet their class teacher or some counselor or some expert of mental health if there are some mental health issue, and they should also call their kids friend circle at the home also, so that they can know very well what type of friendship they are doing and what type of habits they are forming in their adolescent stage. This is the way to do a right approach for a parent to support the child, not to interfere the child's development.
Right. Sometimes they feel as an interference, but parents, I
Yeah.
think they need to handle the situation in such a way that the child should also feel more comfortable. Very
Yes.
true, ma'am. I think as a parent also we all need to work on this aspect as well.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, Kalpana ma'am, one more thing I would like to
Yeah, yeah.
just make our parents aware about this. As we have seen in the video, so many of the students or children, we rather say, they have this sort of feeling that parents should not intervene into their personal rooms, right? But parents do it with the responsibilities. As a parent, we do it with the responsibility, to which, when a certain age comes, the child takes it as a personal intervention. So what do you think, how a child can be psychologically, the child can be counseled for the same?
Definitely, definitely. There are many ways to counsel a child in this traumatic situation, or I can say the stress situation, because he has to go on different psychological, hormonal, and physical and mental health changes there. So, the child really requires some support from the parents as well as from the from the friends, teachers, and their elder ones also. But many times it is found that adolescents are not very much open with their parents. Why? Because they feel shy, and the drastic change in their body, mind, and physical structure can really make them conscious about the developmental changes. So they are not very much comfortable with parents or elders. So this is the stage when they want to share with their parents. But when there are many uh, uh, open lessons or video lessons are available in the classroom or at the school also, where teacher can support the child all types of developmental stages, and they can counsel them how to cope up with these changes of the adolescent stages. This is the best way to do the best education at the school itself, and best advocacy and counseling from the parents itself.
Okay. So you mean to say that schools also play a very big role in like counseling the children for this part?
Yeah, school are playing very good roles in counseling the adolescent child at this stage. They have many sessions. They are conducting different types of sessions there at the school.
Yes, ma'am. Certainly, we could see that. Kalpana ma'am, one more thing. Like nowadays, digital world has, surrounded our children so much that whether it is any sort of social media, it's Instagram or it's FB, or you count n number of things. Children,
Yes.
they feel like more trusting on such social medias, right? There, if any good quote would be there, they would trust more than on that good quote in that social media rather than listening to their parents. And that means that friends, they have more influence on them rather than parents they are having. So, if a choice of good friend is to be made by any child, is there any way that we can define our children that yes, these sort of traits should be there in your good friends whom you want to choose? Would you suggest any sort of traits for a good friend to choose for our children?
Actually, this is the practice only. Child has to identify what is good and what is bad for him or her, because they can, since their childhood, they are living in such an environment where they have developed their own moral values and spirituality also, like continuous meditation practice or good reading, good behavior of parents and interaction of the old family members also. So, when we speak about a joint family and a nuclear family system, we found the adolescents who brought up in a joint family system, they have very much strong self confidence and they have very strong moral and spiritual value itself. So they are easily identify, they can easily identify what is good and what is bad for them. And parents also teach them to say no what is not good for them, so they should strictly say no. They don't follow the peer pressure or the social media influence. They should go forward according to their gut point and their brought up practices in the family. So this is the way the family environment influence very much about the child behavior at the adolescence stage. That is why I'm saying that.
Absolutely right, ma'am. Absolutely. Sometimes, conviction is mandatory. Means that the children, they need to get, convinced by parents as well. That comes
Yes.
as an importance in their life. Um, Kalpana, ma'am, as we have seen in the video also, and that is very common problem by everybody. We have seen this, that the children who are weak in studies, or we
Yes.
can say average in studies, they have
Yes.
a lot of peer pressure in their classrooms, and the parents, they made a lot of comparisons. Intelligent students, or you have not got these many grades, see your friend, and that sort of. Yes, we have seen in the video as well. That is why we have shown the same to our audience. Do you think that parents are right in doing that? Because parents perspective is not this, when they do this comparison, that they don't want to humiliate their children, they just
Yes.
want to make their children feel that they can also do better, but children sometimes they take it in a negative way. What do you suggest that how the children's mindset it can be changed up?
Yeah, actually, rather than comparing siblings or rather than comparing with a good or bad friend, it is better to teach some stories and to hand over some moral stories book to the kids so that they can read and learn the what is the ideal characteristics suitable for the society and the family group. So they can learn, because there are many types of negative peer pressure also, that skipping the classroom or playing some PUBG or other games, or involved in the mobile or social media side. So there are many negative. Many times the adolescents start stealing and cheating the parents also. They used to pick the pocket money and also go out of the class and skip the classroom. So this is the reason why, rather than comparing or pressurizing to do a something or to become a like A or B person, they should hand over some story books, some moral stories book, some spiritual book, and some spiritual characters can be define their roles in the society also. So this is the best way to teach the children rather than comparing them.
Okay, so you
I think
come.
as a parent here, our role becomes more active, right?
Yeah, too
Rather
active.
than we as following, because it is very natural, we keep on comparing. As an
Yeah, you
educator
can't
also, I
compare.
think in our daily routines we keep on comparing, so we need to work more on that, right? As a
Yeah,
child we cannot ignore their emotions.
yeah, even we can support some hobby classes also. If we can provide some hobby class, so child will devoted most of his or her time in some entertainment or some hobby classes like drawing, painting, music, etc. So rather than diverting from a negative peer pressure, they can develop a good hobby for themselves, and that is supportive to their mental and physical development also.
That's true. That's true. Let's just switch over to Kirti ma'am. Kirti ma'am, Kalpana ma'am has broadly said this, that schools play a big role in child's development, which is actually an environmental influence. So your school has got the second position. What do you think that what a perfect school can influence, or what a perfect school can develop the child in physical or mental aspects?
I think, first of all, I would really thank Kalpana ma'am. She has really touched very important points in the upbringing of the children, right? Now, if we talk about the school, fine. Uh, in fact, every school, of course, has to give some academic learning to the children, but I feel like that every school should have a proper formal and informal structure of bringing learning to the children. Now, when we say formal structure, fine, formal structure includes, of course, methodologies of teaching, divergent thinking, possibilities for the children, exposure to multi-talented kind of opportunities so that children can realize their own potential. But when it comes to informal structure of the school, that shows that what is the learning environment of the school. And more than the formal structure, I think informal structure of the school is very important for the upbringing of the children in with a proper psychological and emotional well-being. Because schools are not only now during this pandemics, we have seen that there were lot many online classes, lot many online schools which had come up, but they could not become that successful because children don't only need the books or don't only need the academics, but children also needs a proper environment where they can grow. And
Yes.
the way a plant grows in a proper environment, when watered properly, kept in a proper sunlight, given proper fertilizers, and taken care by gardener properly, same goes with the children as well. So formal and informal, both structures of the school are very important for upbringing of the children, so that they come out to be emotionally and intellectually balanced children, and a balanced generation in our society. This is what we try hard to do in our school, in Jesus Sacred Heart School.
That's lovely, ma'am. That's lovely to hear. Perfectly, you're absolutely right. Kiti, ma'am, we would like to know from you this as well. That as every school says that parents, they are the collaborators in the development or upliftment of child's development, right? So, what do you suggest that what should be do's and don'ts for the parents, wherein they just uplift the development of their child's psychology? Like we were asking questions from Kalpana ma'am also, that how the children, they should be taken care, like personal interventions at the home or not. So as a school, what do you think, that is there any sort of workshops to be conducted wherein parents to be guided?
Um, in fact, during these days, we are really passing through a times where there is a lot of mistrust amongst each other, right? A lot of mistrust of the school in the parents, and a lot of mistrust of the parents in the school. And we are not realizing that this kind of an environment where there is a lot of mistrust and a lot of loss of faith in each other is affecting no one else but affecting the children. Lot of ego struggles between the school and the parents is affecting a lot on the health of the children as well. So very first of all, I would like to appeal to the parents that please let the children remain connected to the school and remain connected to their own teachers. Let the children do it. It's the same way, the way, the child learns from the parent because child loves the parent. Same way the child learns from the school and the teachers because he or she loves the school and loves the teachers. Because child is not capable enough to understand what should be learned and what should not be learned and what should be unlearned. Child is not capable enough to do this. So we will have to be very cautious whenever we talk about the school and whenever we talk about the teachers in front of the children. I really don't promote this thing that you should not bring up the complaints against the school, or you should not bring up complaints against the teachers, but there has to be perfect process followed, so that it should not harm emotionally the children, it should not harm psychologically the children, right? So I would really request again to the parents that please maintain the relationship of a child with the school. You may have any kind of relationship with the school, you may have any kind of complaints with the school, you may be too much attached also to the school, but maintain that relationship of a child with the school. You will not be able to keep on changing the schools of the children from one school to another school, second school to the third school. You will not be keep on doing this, right? But it is the entire responsibility that the way we maintain the relationship of a child with the with other relatives of our homes, right? We maintain the child relationship with his or her friends, with the parents and with the siblings. Same way we should strive hard to maintain the relationship of a parent of a child with the school and its teachers. Now and next comes how can we promote collaborations.
Yes,
Sometimes
ma'am.
schools also lacks here a lot,
Yes,
because school shows their supremacy and don't make the parents as their co-partners. I
yes,
would
Yes.
really suggest the schools that more you take the parents as your co-partners in the learning of the children, more beneficial it will be for the school itself. So whenever certain things are to be introduced in the school, whenever there are certain changes to be done in the school, whenever you feel like that we need to fill in the gaps in the schools, in this learning of the children, I think we need to take our parents into confidence. Fine. These days our generations are smarter enough, okay, more than
that's true.
more smarter than the teachers
Mm.
and more smarter than the parents, and
Yes.
they realize the gaps.
Yes,
Whenever a child realizes the gap,
Uh,
that there is a gap, fine, that gap is not filled in by being good, but that gap is filled in by getting distracted. Okay, ultimately it's the loss of the children, ultimately it's the loss of the children. We may get into any kind of ego struggles, fine, but who is at the losing end? Our own children, our own generation is at the losing end. Our generations these days have become more of manipulative rather than more of actively involved, fine. So these kind of manipulations can only be removed if
yes.
the gap between a school and the parent is removed. Okay, that will give a beautiful environment, beautiful nourishing environment to the children. So a request to the
Surely.
schools also to collaborate with their own parents, right? Maybe through the workshops, maybe to the coffee shops, as we started a trend of having coffee shops in our Jesus Sacred Heart school. So that helped us a lot, because it helped the school to understand the parent, and it helped the parent to have some connection with the school, fine. So
and more
these
of the mutual
collaborations,
understanding is there.
yeah, these collaborations will become bring some fruits only, right? So I think the gaps have to be removed from both the ends, school as well as the parents.
That's absolutely right, ma'am. Perfectly right, ma'am. We generally see this, that senior students in schools, senior student nowadays corporal punishments, they are vanished away. We know all that. Teachers, they don't dare to, because they know that they'll be into some problems. But there is one unseen punishment which can be seen anywhere. That punishment is of embarrassment. Teachers keep on giving to students. What do you think that senior students, specifically senior students, I'm talking about, because juniors, they are absorbed. They can absorb such thing. They're like those one that they can absorb that embarrassment. But senior children, they are not able to. What do you think that how such senior children should be handled in the school, who are very adamant or show some tantrums? how they should be handled by the teachers?
Very first of all, when it comes, like you said a statement that junior kids absorb and the senior kids are not able to absorb. Okay, why senior kids become adamant and why senior kids become rebellious? Because they were absorbing when they were junior, right? So we have brought them to a point where they become rebellious, and we have brought them to a point where they are not listening to anyone more, right? It is because of certain kind of environments in the school itself. Yes, corporal punishments are not allowed and no one does it, but yes, there are some kind of unsaid punishments which which the teacher can give through the gestures or through the eyes or through the hand gestures or through certain specific words. What I do believe is that very first of all, as I talked about a informal structure of the school, okay, I talked it in the beginning, that informal structure of the school includes what is the emotional well-being of everyone, including the teachers, right? Teachers are not only to be trained for academic excellence. Teachers are also to be trained enough to understand their own emotions first of all. So teachers require that they should be emotionally balanced people, because many of the teachers, they are not able to absorb whenever the child asks some question, or whenever the term given is ki child is very argumentative, fine, rather than saying that the child is putting up a divergent thinking in front of us, fine, we say that children are very argumentative. But although you cannot say to the children that they're argumentative, because they have to put up their own points, right? So therefore, this informal structure of the school is very important to be polished. And here comes the polishing of the children and of the teachers for their emotional well-being, for their psychological well-being, and for their mental well-being. There should be regular programs organized by the school where the mental wellness of the teacher should be taken care of, because until unless teacher is not emotionally balanced, she will not bring up emotionally balanced children. She will devastate the emotional well-being of the children, and psychologically will bring up a generation who are imbalanced personalities rather than balanced personalities. Now, how to
Absolutely.
handle such kind of children? Your question was this: how to handle such kind of children? Believe me, Pooja, the more patience the teacher will have, more loving vibes the teacher will send to the children, I think more better it will be for the children. We forget that aspect, that your vibrations are taken into consideration by the children as well. A child recognizes that whether this teacher is speaking to me or not in a tone, but her vibes are speaking in the same way. Fine. So therefore, the vibrations and the vibes given to the children should be pure enough, right? And those purity of emotions, those purity of vibrations can only bring the children on the right track. Whatever you say from your mouth, right, whatever words you try to tell them, they are not ready to listen to your words. They are not ready to listen to your words. So your own aura has to be a pure aura, first of all. Then there is something called which we say that a teacher needs to understand that she cannot be egoistic. She cannot be. Okay. A mother cannot bring up the child with ego. Fine. And we are the second mother of the children. We cannot bring our egos. And because, at homes, we do absorb everything of our children, but in the school, we don't absorb everything of the children. Okay. And we keep bring our egos in between. That becomes, dangerous for everyone in the school. That becomes dangerous for the child. That becomes dangerous for all those children also who witness this. It is not only for the child, but all those children who witness this kind of ego struggles in the classes. It is devastating for them too. A teacher will have to put down the ego. You cannot win the children with egos. You can only win the children with your purity in emotions, with your purity in thoughts for the children, and with the pure aura you carry on in the classrooms, right? Then only children can be modified. Otherwise, children will not listen to you. They will reject you. You reject a child for one time, child will reject you 100 times.
100 times.
Fine. Child is not in
Very
an
true.
obligation to listen to you. No. Fine.
Yes.
Child will reject you 100 times, right? So we will have to save ourselves from rejections by by keeping our egos down, right? This is what I normally tell my teachers as well.
Very rightly said, ma'am. I think that connectivity is more important to make a child believe in you and make that build that trust with the children. Very
Yeah.
rightly said, ma'am. Kirti ma'am, here I would like to ask one more question. That bullying or child abuse, it is found these emotional aspects are left untouched. Like, how do we recognize that children around us, maybe in school or at home, they are suffering from such emotional imbalance, and how to help them?
In fact, Trishna, first of all, we need to create such kind of environment at our homes where we realize every slight change in the behavior of the children. Fine. Now, because these days my parents are so much busy in their own careers that they don't realize that their children are going through some difficult phase. So that realization is very important. Just give me a minute, please. Just give me a minute. Actually, my sorry. In fact,
No
my
worries, ma'am.
no. So this realization is very important, that every single change in the behavior of the children, if you're a good mother, if you're a good father, fine, you will come to know whenever there is a change in the behavior of the children, you will come to know that there is something wrong happened to the children. What happens with us is that we ignore that particular aspect and we feel like कि मेरे बच्चे के साथ ये नहीं हो सकता, सबके साथ हो सकता है. We actually don't accept this कि something can happen to your own child as well. Maybe it is physical abuse, maybe it is sexual abuse, maybe it is verbal abuse, anywhere, not only in the schools, anywhere, right?
Anyway.
Maybe it is a bullying, fine. So child is not able to realize his or her own emotions, and therefore child is not able to fake it. Fine, child will not fake it, and you will have to be very closely connected to the children to understand that what has happened to my child, and you should be proficient enough to extract out the things. In the school, yes, sometimes it becomes difficult in the school because there are a large group number of children, and it is very difficult and there is so much of overlapping interactions, there is so much of multiple interactions, right? So sometimes it becomes difficult to realize that whether the child is passing through some difficult phase or not. For this, we need to have limited strengths in the classrooms, first of all, so that each you are connected to, as a teacher, you are connected to each and every child. And then even the school leaders are supposed to be very well connected with the children, so that a child should feel safe, that if I walk into my principal's office or vice principal's office or coordinator's office, then I will be listened, right? That kind of safe and secure environment is very important to be given. And for bullying, to prevent the people from bullying, children are in case children are manipulative here, or children are over energetic, children get afraid also from certain rules and regulations. Every student in the school should know very well that the school will follow anti-bullying policy very strictly, and therefore whosoever will bully someone else will have to face certain consequences. This should be very openly told to the children. It should be popularized in the schools. Sometimes children don't realize that this act is a bullying. They don't even realize,
Realize.
fine, that my this particular saying this particular thing or doing this particular thing is a bullying, right? Or this is not this is an aggressive abuse, or this is just a fun. Fine, they are not able to differentiate between fun and the abuse. So therefore it should be very openly popularized in the schools, by displaying the posters, by organizing the workshops, that what is bullying, which actions are included in bullying, and what are the CBSE guidelines, what are the government guidelines, the knowledge about juvenile courts. Our schools don't do this, fine. And even our children don't know that they can be punished also by law if something wrong happens. They don't even know, fine. So such kind of workshops, or such kind of popularizing the concepts in the school, I think will help our those
It will
children
help.
who get bullied and who are shy to come out, fine. So give a safe and secure environment in the school.
Perfectly right, ma'am. Kalpana ma'am, as Kirti ma'am has said that yes, bullying, it should be stopped. Of course, yes, it should be stopped, and that awareness should be spreaded around everywhere, like even it's to the parents or to the school system. So, what do you suggest? That suppose, imagine that some child is being bullied by the peer mates, and the child is not able to tell the things to the parents, right? But somehow parents, they come to know this actual scenario of their own child. There two things happened. Either the parents, they scold that why you got involved, or they become overprotective. So both things are dangerous for the children, as we can say that both things are dangerous for the children. What do you suggest that how parents should react when they come to know that their child or their children, they are being bullied by their peer mates?
Yeah, actually, first of all, I would like to advise all the parents that they should start the two-way communication. That is very much important. And there is an important method of role modeling. Influence of role modeling is also very much effective in the child's life also. And they should ask them to think about what they would say in a negative situation and practice saying no in a different way. Teach their child how to set boundaries and be assertive in their communication itself. And they should sometimes parents should also tell them their own story of the adolescent stage, how much they feel, what they feel, and what were their experiences at this stage, and how did they resolve their problem, and how their parents supported them at this stage. So many times, if this thing happens, the child can understand this is a very normal thing. I am not the only in the world that who are abusing or who are in trouble. Many my even my parents were also in the same stage and step. So they were open to communicate with their parents also. And sometimes establish a plan and a backup plan with their child is also important. If they are really very much traumatic in this particular stage or particular class or particular school, they should also have some backup plan. Like they should ask the principal or teachers to shift the child in another class or another section or another peer group or another study group also. There are many provisions in the school. They are doing some cooperative learning activities and dialogue method and storytelling activities. So in that group, if child is not comfortable with a particular XYZ group, so this is advisable to transfer them, and parents can communicate to the teacher and principal also in this way. And also they can do, let them know there is nothing wrong with making an excuse. If they are unsure what to do, and help them. Brainstorming and creative way to learn the thing is also important. So they should encourage their child to do something creatively, and also set themselves in a negative situation, what they react if they will be a parent in this situation. So this type of creative thinking will definitely create a confidence between parents and the child itself, so they can do positive efforts. Beyond this, I can also suggest that many times it happens that a child feeling some abusing condition, but he or she is not able to express it in the right way. So what parents can do, they can take the help of some specialized counsel in that particular field. Not always the clinical psychologist is helpful, not always the career counselor is always helpful. There are some specific adolescent counselors are also available on the internet, and there are many societies they are available, and out of the school also, and peer group also, and in their social community also. Many times a child can learn very easily with their auntie, chachi, mummy also. So this is not necessary to be a certified counselor available that time. If they are not available, parents can communicate some close relative to whom the child is very much comfortable, so they can express and communicate their conditions and stress and trauma in that situation.
Very right, ma'am. I think that communicating two way is the best approach. But do you think it will help them to settle the disagreements which they have with the children, especially the senior ones? Like, how can parents settle those disagreements?
No, no, not always. Settlements is not always happen because why the reason? Because now this is the age of information, and the child has many information and knowledge through that internet world. And if we are going to ask or tell or advise them something, they know we know very well what is right and wrong, and we know very well everything. We know what is the law, what are the issues, what is our rights, what are our duties. So this is the argumentative factors are there because they are full of knowledge and they are intellectually high nowadays. They are not an average child. They are very much very well grown up and very much advanced in their development of intellectual span rather than before 10 or 20 years age. So they know everything and they can defend themselves very much. So this thing happens कि many time argumentation is happened in the and the settlement will not done, but still parents are try to be a friend, not always a friend, but a supporter and a helper to the child itself.
Perfectly right, ma'am. I think, of course, yes, nowadays, although children, they are mature enough to understand all this stuff, but certainly the hands of parents or the hands of school system, both are very important if we are to take them on a success journey. Thank you so much, Kalpana ma'am. That was really great talking to you. We would just conclude today's event by taking up three tips from Kirti ma'am. Ma'am, we would like to know any three tips you would just give to the schools which can help in the overall development of the children, please.
The tips to the school is very first of all, have a structured have a structured formal systems in the school. Without planning, you cannot do anything, right? In case you are mismanaged in that process, we bring harm to the children. You should be managed first of all, and the proper management comes with proper structuring of all the academic, scholastic and non-scholastic activities in the school, so that you can plan very well that the skill based education in the school, you can plan the kind of competency based education in the school, and bring up the potentials of the children. The second tip I would always suggest everyone, every school and every school leader is that be student centered. Let's not make education, a show, right? Let's not take education as a social status. Let's not make education in our school just to show off certain things on our social medias, on our Facebooks, right? Be a real educator, and whatever you do in the school, whatever you plan in the school should be student centric. And whenever you will keep in mind the benefits of the children, I think you will yourself come to know what should be included in the school system and what should not be included in the school system. The last and the most important tip, we are dealing with children who are really very tender hearts, fine? So let's work on relationships. Nothing can be achieved without relationship of a student with the teacher, relationship of a student with the parent, relationship of the school leaders with their own teachers, with their own parents, and with their own children. So we are having a web of relationships in our school. We expose our children to a little world where the children should be taught how to manage their own emotions and how to manage their own psychological well-being. And this is only possible if we have a kind of good environment in the school, good positive vibes in the school, good values in the school, and it get manifested in perfect relationships with each other. I think this is a kind of a perfect informal education for the children. So these tips, I think we can rule the world. We can make our children rule the world. We can make our Indian students aspire high, achieve high, and be a good citizens as well.
Thank you so much, Kirti ma'am. And very simple words, how beautifully you have concised the pattern, that how school should be there as an availability of all the resources for the development of the children. Of course, that connectivity is very important. And child centric, this word is, I guess, amazing, and it can really work like a miracle for all the schools if they actually implement it. So thank you so much, Kirti ma'am and Kalpana ma'am. We are really obliged to have your presence over here. It's like great pleasure listening to such deep insight minds and sorting out so many queries of parents, teachers, school systems, and in fact, the students or the children. They might be having lot many questions that how our reaction should be answered. You have answered so many things. I guess Rachna ma'am is agree with me. Rachna ma'am.
Really, really. Thank you so much, Kirti ma'am. Thank you so much, Kalpana ma'am. I think all your tips and all your advices, everyone will love to follow, and it will definitely give them a right message.
Thank you, Pooja,
Thank
for
you so much.
inviting us
Thank
on
you.
this
And it was
platform.
really
Thank you
wonderful
very much,
talking.
Ratna, for very much moderating the very much affectionate moderation of today's program with
Thank
affection
you.
and love. And Kirti, you are really very good school leader itself.
Thank you,
And
ma'am. Thank you
I
so much.
really like it. Thank you. And I am really support the leadership training at the school also. SNDT Pune is conducting leadership program for school and school teachers. So there they should learn the planning and management of the school and how to run the curriculum in flexible way itself. So this is really a very good techniques to develop a school and to support the child also. And we would again like to meet with you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Kalpana
you,
ma'am. Of
Thank you
everyone.
course,
so much,
yes.
ma'am.
We would also love to have your presence again and again on our platforms. So, dear audience, here we are ending up with a lot many thoughts. Of course, yes, which we need to ponder upon, and that connectivity. Let's not lose it with our children. They are our ones. We were also at one stage the same. So, my dear audience, do connect with us, and we'll be surely bringing many more such deep, intelligent insights before you who can really sort out your queries. So, once again, thank you, everyone. I have already floated the link of attendance into the chat box. I hope you guys have got it. Thank you so much, Arti ma'am. I'm really thankful to our audience also who were consecutively sending their message. I would like to thank each one of them, Arti ma'am, Meena Chauhan ma'am, Anu ma'am, and we were having along with us Sunny Sumanji. Sunny Sumanji, thank you so much for being there. So at the end, let's just conclude it saying that yes, let's connect with our children more and more and make them global masterminds of coming era. So here we are concluding. Thank you, one and all.
Thank
Thank you.
you so
Thank you
much.
Thank
so
you,
much.
one and all.
Goodbye.